Recently, it seems like we have been going from one cold to another with very little breaks in between. And it doesn't just seem to be my family that this is happening to. I've gotten a lot of texts from friends over the last few months saying, hey, sorry, I didn't know my kids were sick when we hung out, but turns out they were coming down with something. Hopefully we didn't expose you. So it seems like there's just a lot of stuff going around right now. Now we are just finishing up here with another cold, and I realized as I was going through the motions of taking care of the sick children that there were several things that I was not doing to run my home during this time. And it was making my life much easier than if I had been trying to keep up with everything. So while this was all still fresh in my head, I wanted to make a video for you in case you aren't quite sure what you should prioritize to keep up with when your family is sick. And hopefully this will help you realize some things that you don't have to do and make your life a little bit easier next time someone is sick. If you're new here, I'm Kassy, and my goal is to help you make your life easier so you can have 7 extra hours in your week. If that sounds like something you would be into, please subscribe down below. And if you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up so more people can find it. All right, let's get into the 7 things that I don't do when we are sick. The first thing that I don't do when we have sickness at our house is I don't try to do everything. Now, what that means for me is I have a decision to make. I can either keep everything running smoothly with the house, with our routines, with tidying up, with the meals. And if I do that, I would have to work less. Or I can keep up with my work and the house will have to slide for a little while. There just aren't enough hours in the day for me to take care of sick family members and do both of those things perfectly. Now, what I decide to do varies. It depends on the situation, it depends on how sick people are, it depends on what work I have to do that week, and it's a situation by situation answer. So for this last sickness, for example, my husband and one of the kids were actually out of town, and I had 2 here with me. I also happened to have a lot of work that I was planning on doing while there were less people around the house, and my daughter came down with strep throat. And it wasn't just strep throat, but she was also basically unable to keep anything down during the week. So because of that, I had a lot that I needed to help her with. I couldn't just let her chill on the couch while I continued working. I had to constantly be getting her things and helping her when she needed it. Because of that, I did not have time to keep up with the housework or work. Now, since I had a lot of work that I was planning on getting done that week, I decided to let the house slide, and I was going to get my work done when I could. Now, sometimes this just meant taking 15 minutes when both kids happened to be sleeping to answer an email or get something done quickly. And something else that it meant was I kept all of my camera equipment up all week long because I knew at least when the kids got into bed at night, I could take that time to film a video or work on some things that I needed to for my membership site. And I wasn't going to waste time putting everything away when I knew I had such limited time already. But there are other times when I don't have as much work that I need to do, and I would instead just let work slide for a little bit and keep the house running smoothly. So you just have to decide what is most important this week and what am I going to focus on with the addition of needing to take care of someone who's sick. Now, sometimes if I am sick myself, both have to slide. I can't keep up with work or the housework depending on how sick I am. And when that happens, I just have to roll with it. I try not to let it stress me out, and I really try not to work so much that I am sacrificing sleep because I really like to work and it's easy for me to do that. But I know if I'm sick, the best thing for me to do is to get rest so that I can get better. The second thing that I don't do when we are sick is I don't make my kids do their morning or evening checklists. Now, obviously, some things on the checklist will still get done, like they still put their pajamas on and brush their teeth and things like that. But I don't make them, especially the morning checklist, go through all of the steps. Because if they are really sick, then I want them to be resting and not exerting energy doing their regular chores. Another reason we don't enforce the checklists when the girls are sick is because for one of them, her daily job is to unload the dishwasher. and I don't really want somebody who's sick touching all of the clean dishes. So as soon as it seems like she might be getting sick, we usually relieve her of that duty, and I will talk a little bit more about how that works in a minute. For my other daughter, her job is to wash the clothes, switch them to the dryer, and then sort all of the clothes into piles before folding her clothes and her brother's clothes. So she is touching every single piece of clean laundry, which I also don't really want somebody doing when they are sick. So we also will relieve her of that duty as soon as she seems sick. The third thing that I do not do when we are sick is any cleaning outside of the essentials. And what I consider the essentials to be is cleaning up the kitchen after every meal, or at least cleaning it once a day. If we are all pretty sick, it may only happen once a day, but I try to still do it after every meal because kitchens can just pile up and become an absolute mess before very long at all. So I think it's really important, if you are going to only do one thing, it is clean up your kitchen after the meals, or at least by the end of the night, try to have your kitchen clean before you go to bed. I go into a lot more detail about the kitchen cleaning routine that I recommend in another video, and I will put that in the cards and in the description down below if you want to check that out. However, if you are sick enough that you don't feel like you can keep up with the dishes, grab some paper plates, paper bowls, some plasticware, some plastic cups, or some paper cups, and throw everything away at the end of the meal. It is absolutely worth it to not have that extra stress of something else that you need to do for the short time that you are sick. The other thing that I consider to be an essential is doing one load of laundry every day and doing that load from start to completely finished. I go into a lot more detail about how to keep up with the laundry in one of my other videos. So again, I will put that in the cards and in the description down below. So keeping the kitchen clean and keeping the laundry going are the only things that I say have to be done by someone in the family when we are sick. The fourth thing that I do not do when there is sickness in our house is try to keep up with all of the extra work by myself. I mentioned earlier that one of my daughter's daily chores is to unload the dishwasher, but we don't really want her doing that when she is sick. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I have to unload the dishwasher. Depending on who all is sick in the house, sometimes it works for my other daughter to take over the unloading for her. Or sometimes if we are all sick and my husband is the only one who isn't, then he will take over unloading the dishwasher. And it just kind of varies by who all is sick and how sick everyone is, how we redistribute the essential chores. We all just try to work together to keep things running smoothly. Now, I will say we have been kind of lucky for at least the last 3 or 4 years. My husband and I haven't seemed to have gotten sick at the exact same time. And often just one of us will get whatever cold the kids have. But if we do both end up getting it, generally one of us will get it, and then as that one is recovering, the other one will get it. So it does make it a little bit easier because whichever one of us as well will just take over doing those essentials. And since we aren't worried about cleaning the house from top to bottom when we are all sick, it isn't too much of a burden to have one person cleaning the kitchen and keeping the laundry going. Now, you may be a single mom and not have someone else who can help you out around the house, but depending on how old your kids are, they could also help with cleaning the kitchen or doing the laundry if you yourself are sick. I know if I were very sick and my oldest was not, she would be able to keep the kitchen clean and keep the laundry going without too much direction. And that is the nice part of having the checklist going most of the time, because she has learned those skills and is able to step in when she needs to. Something else that I do not do when there is sickness in the house is tidy up. If you could see on the other side of this camera, you would see my little guy's toys all over the living room because he's only one. He doesn't know how to pick up his toys quite yet, and I had a choice to make. I could spend the 10 to 15 minutes tidying up this room, or I could make this video. So it's really about picking and choosing and figuring out what will be the best use of your time right then and there when your kids are sick. And I'll let you in on a little secret. This is not the first night this week that his toys have been all over the room, and I have sat down to do some work instead. In fact, it has been this way since about last Tuesday, so that was 5 days ago. I have not picked up his toys for 5 days. And that might seem a little bit crazy, especially given the nature of my YouTube channel and what I talk about here. But the good news for me with this is because we have decluttered our toys and we don't have a large amount of toys anyway, it should only take me about 10 to 30 minutes to completely tidy up my living room. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I will time it when I do that, and I will pop it in here on the video and show you exactly how long it took me to tidy up my living room after at least 5 days of not tidying it. So I'm actually really tempted now to stop the video and time it now, but I think I'll resist, and I will do that maybe tomorrow, and I will pop it in the video here and you can see what the result is. The sixth thing that I do not do when we are sick is I don't always keep up with the original meal plan. Now, sometimes if I am not sick and the kids aren't very sick, if they're just maybe a little bit sick, but they don't need too much attention from me, I will still keep up with the meal plan. But depending on if I am sick or even if the kids or Ross are really sick, we sometimes just throw the meal plan out and find some really easy meals that just will sound good to whomever is most sick. But the other part of this is if I am sick and the kids are sick and my husband is not, the nice thing about having the meal plan already figured out is he can easily look, see what is on it, figure out what he needs at the store, and then make whatever is already on the meal plan. So he doesn't have to spend any time planning out the meals, and he's a fully capable cook who can easily follow whichever recipes I have on the plan. Now, this seventh thing is very similar to what I was just talking about, but I don't typically cook elaborate meals when I or the kids are sick. And what I mean by this is even if I am sticking to the original meal plan and I have something on there that will take more time to prepare, I will find some way to make it a little bit easier and a little quicker to prepare. Especially if our baby is sick, he just wants to be held and he will just follow me around the kitchen crying and pulling on my legs until I pick him up, which is really hard to do while you are cooking. So the goal is to get food cooked as quickly as possible, and that just doesn't happen if you have a meal that takes a long time to prepare. So even if we are sticking to the original meal plan, I will try to make the meals easier so that I can quickly prepare them and then I can tend to the children. So now let's say that you are done being sick, everyone is feeling better, and you would like to get back into the rhythm of things, but sometimes it can be a little overwhelming knowing how to get everyone back to their regular schedule. So the first thing that I recommend as soon as the kids are feeling better is to get the checklist going again. And this can be a little bit of a tricky one because my husband and I have definitely found recently that the kids have realized that when they're sick, they don't have to do their checklists. So they will seem to be feeling just fine. They'll be running around having a great time in the evenings, but then every morning, they just don't feel very good. So generally my husband and I will be the ones to say, okay, the sickness is over tomorrow. We are going to start the checklist again. And typically they say, oh, okay, because they know they aren't really sick enough to be skipping their checklists anyway. So I would just caution you about asking the kids, are you well enough to do your checklists? Because in my experience, the answer is almost always no. And you do just have to nudge them and let them know, we're done being sick now. I know you're fine. Now it's time to get back into our normal rhythm. The second thing that I do is I tidy up. I really like to have a tidy downstairs, and as soon as everyone is feeling well and we are ready to get back into our regular program, I like to completely clean all of the little things that have been left downstairs. I find when my kids are sick, they will bring the coloring bag downstairs or they'll bring some books, and they just aren't as likely to put their things away. Even though we have systems in place to help them do that, when they aren't feeling well, they don't always feel like hauling everything back upstairs that they brought down to enjoy. So that is usually priority number 2 for us, to get everything just put away. It usually doesn't take too long with the downstairs. Sometimes their room can take a little bit longer, especially depending on if it was a longer sickness and they hung out in their room a lot. But if they were mainly downstairs, they typically don't bring too much extra downstairs. And it's just a matter of organizing everything and getting everything put back where it goes. The third thing that I do is I wash all the sheets, or at least all the sheets of everyone who is sick. Sometimes if one person escaped or a couple of people escaped, we don't necessarily do all of the sheets, but it's nice to just start everybody fresh and make sure there aren't any germs lurking around on the bedding. So typically the way I do this is I won't do whatever laundry was supposed to be done that day, and instead I will cycle all of the kids' bedding through the wash first, and then I will wash our sheets last. The reason I do that is just because it seems like sheets and quilts and blankets take forever to dry, and I want to make sure theirs is all clean by bedtime. If ours is drying a little bit later into the night, it's not a big deal. We can make our bed after they're all sleeping. So I just start with the youngest sheets first and move up from there. Now, along the lines of the sheets, something else that my mother-in-law told me, and she used to be a pediatric nurse, is to throw away all the toothbrushes or run the toothbrushes through the dishwasher. She said either one will work pretty well, but it's very common for people to forget that your toothbrush has a lot of germs on it, and if you continue to use it after you are better, you can actually make yourself sick again. So I try to just make it a habit. Sometimes I forget, as I did just recently, and I'm pretty sure that's why my daughter got sick just this last time. But I try to remember to either wash them through with the dishwasher or throw them all away. The fourth thing that I do to get everything back up and running is I just pick up my cleaning routine on whatever day it is. So if everyone is better on Tuesday, I will just do the Tuesday cleaning. I don't worry about trying to catch up or anything like that, because I know by the end of the week, I will have gotten through all the cleaning that I need to. So just start on whatever day it is that you feel better and just go from there. And then the fifth thing that I do is I just jump right back into that original meal plan. And since the meal plan is already done for the entire year, I don't have to spend any time figuring it out. I just pick up on whatever week it is. Now, there are 3 reasons that this plan works for me. The first is that I already have a decluttered house, kind of like I mentioned already with the toys. If I don't pick up the toys for an entire week, it should only take me about 10 to 30 minutes to tidy up the downstairs, and it might take me an additional 10 to 30 minutes to tidy up the girls' room. The little guy's room really doesn't take that long since I tidy it up anyway as we're going through the week, and he isn't usually in there just making a mess by himself. But the downstairs area is where he plays, and it only takes me about 10 to 30 minutes to pick up his little toy bin and put everything else in order. The second reason that this all works is because I already have all of my cleaning routines in place. I have the kitchen cleaning routine already set. Everyone in the house knows how to clean up the kitchen, and anyone can jump in when they need to help each other out. Same with the laundry routine. We have been doing laundry the same for quite a few years now, and all of us are familiar with all of the steps and what needs to happen at every stage of the laundry routine. So if one of us is sick, another can easily take over. And since the weekly cleaning routine is also already set up, all I have to do is just pick up on whatever day it is, and I don't have to sit around figuring out what I need to clean next. I also don't have to worry if my house doesn't get cleaned for a week or even 2 weeks, because I do that weekly cleaning routine every single week. So the house is already clean before we get sick. And that makes it really easy not to stress about it if we have to take a week off from cleaning. And the fourth reason that this works for us is because we already have a meal plan in place. So if I am sick, my husband can easily look and figure out what the meal plan is. He can go to the store if he needs to, buy what he needs, and easily pick up with the cooking. And even if we end up throwing out the meal plan for a week and just doing super simple kind of comfort food meals, we can easily jump back into it whenever we are better. So I hope this video helped you out if you often try to figure out how to juggle everything when your family is sick. Now you know you don't have to. It's okay to say, I'm not going to worry about this while we are sick, and everything will still be there for you when everyone is better. As always, I'm Kassy with MakingTimeForGiggles.com, and I make videos all about how to simplify your life. So if that sounds like something you would be into, please subscribe down below because I would love to see you on the next video.